Yeah.
Lay the hammer down.
All right, I'd like to call the meeting to order. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance. We'll have our student reps lead us, please.
Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America, and to the republic which stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call.
Kristen Kamenzi,
Here.
Glenn Sarka,
here.
James Hewitt,
Here.
Jennifer Cliff,
Here.
Jennifer Ray,
Here.
Cheryl Maddox Smith,
Here.
Jason Zadunik,
Here.
All right. Entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
I support. All right. Motion made by Mr. Hewitt, support by Ms. Ray. Any comments? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Superintendent's report. Am I starting this part? Okay. All right. We're going to start with the recognition of the student school board representatives. All right. Thanks to our student school board representatives this year, Lily Everhard and Callie Tonella. Hopefully I pronounced your names correctly. All right. Both Lily and Callie are Marquette Senior High School Student Council and Budsman. Lily Everhard is the daughter of Corey and Jen Everhard and is a junior at Marquette Senior High School. Lily is a member of the varsity soccer team, the basketball team, and the Redmond Chorale. She holds a 3.97 GPA. She has been part of the student council for 3 years and plans to run for vice president her senior year. Lily plans to attend Grand Valley State University and major in child psychology. Lily, if you could come up for a second. So we're just giving you a Thank you very much. Yeah. All right. Callie Tonella is the daughter of Ashley and Charles Tonella and is a junior at Marquette Senior High School. Callie has involved herself in multiple activities through high school, including student council, the dance team, and the soccer team. She is a member of the National Honor Society and the Honor Roll. Currently, she is planning to attend Northern Michigan University to pursue a degree in nursing. On behalf of the school board, I would like to thank Lily and Callie for the invaluable input that they provided our meeting. Thank you, guys.
Next up, Mr. Young, if you want to make your way, you can talk about some members of the class of 2023 for outstanding academic achievement.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's my privilege to be here tonight and share with you some of our absolute brightest and best students that we have. And there's a lot of things that I am proud about when it comes to this school and being a part of this district. And the one thing that I really look forward to every year is the opportunity to introduce to you the very best students that we've got. And so tonight, I'm going to share with you 10 students that are in our top 10. And by the way, this is not in order of rank. This is by alphabetical. So we'll let them figure out who it is that's ranked, but trust me, they know. So in recognizing these students, it's not about a good test score. A good test score does not get you onto this list. right? A good test score doesn't get you close to this list. It's about not only being dedicated to your schoolwork, not only having the support structure around you, but it's about a lot of hours of studying, a lot of hours of preparation, a lot of hard work, as well as perhaps some natural giftedness as well, right? Well, you put all those together, and that's the type of student that I'm sharing here with you tonight. So the very first student that I've got will be Lars Anderson. Lars is the son of Derek Anderson and Stephanie Anderson. His extracurricular activities include National Honor Society and wrestling. Lars will be receiving an Excellence in Education Scholarship and an NMU Freshman Fellowship. Lars plans to attend Northern Michigan University to major in fisheries and wildlife management. Congratulations, Lars. Our next student is Anna Grislak. Anna is the daughter of Ted and Michelle Grislak. Her extracurricular activities include National Honor Society, varsity alpine skiing, and cross country. Outside of school, she is a member of the USSA, FIS, and MMRT alpine ski racing. Anna will be receiving an Excellence in Education Scholarship. Anna plans to attend either the University of Michigan or Northern Michigan University to pursue a bachelor's degree in nursing and obtain a RN license. Congratulations, Anna. Maya Eitenberg. Maya is the daughter of Deborah Paulson. Her extracurricular activities include National Honor Society, Orchestra, and Writers Club. Maya will be receiving an Excellence in Education Scholarship. Maya plans to attend Michigan State University, majoring in English with plans of attending law school. Congratulations, Maya. Brady Ketzenberger. Brady is the son of Brent and Cynthia Ketzenberger. His extracurricular activities include cross country, track, and wrestling. Brady will be receiving an Excellence in Education Scholarship. Brady will be attending Michigan Technological University to major in chemical engineering while running cross country and track. Congratulations, Brady. Elodie Meller. Elodie is the daughter of Stefan and Yala Meller. Her extracurricular activities include National Honor Society, varsity cross country, varsity track, varsity Nordic skiing, HOSA, and environmental club. There's a lot of things to be able to say just right. Elodie will be receiving an Excellence in Education Scholarship, Joyce Ivy Scholarship, and a LEAD Scholarship from the University of Michigan. Elodie plans on attending the University of Michigan to major in molecular, cellular, and developmental biology with a minor in French. Afterwards, she will pursue a medical degree or a PhD to either become a doctor or a college professor. Congratulations, Elodie. Carson Vanderschaft. Carson is the son of Lyle and Connie Vanderschaft. His extracurricular activities include track and field and cross country. Carson will be receiving an Excellence in Education Scholarship. Carson plans to attend Eastern Michigan University to major in computer science while running cross country and track. Congratulations, Carson. Colin Vanderschaft. Colin is the son of Lyle and Connie Vanderschaft. His extracurricular activities include National Honor Society, track, swimming, and the bike team. Colin will receive an Excellence in Education Scholarship. Colin plans on attending Grand Valley State University to major in biology with plans to go on to medical school. Congratulations, Collins. Haley Vickers. Haley is the daughter of Jeff and Tricia Vickers. Her extracurricular activities include National Honor Society. Haley will be receiving an Excellence in Education Scholarship and is yet to announce her plans for college. Congratulations, Haley. Adam Whites. Adam is the son of Andrew and Kristen White. His extracurricular activities include basketball, cross country, track, and National Honor Society. Adam will be receiving an Excellence in Education Scholarship. Adam plans to attend Michigan State University to major in finance. Congratulations. I should note, by the way, you notice there's a theme of track and cross country that you're seeing here. We also have a track meet that's going on right now, and so there's a few that are unable to attend here this evening, unfortunately. And our last in the top 10, but certainly not the least, Drew White. Drew is the son of Andrew and Kristen White. His extracurricular activities include cross country, track, basketball, and National Honor Society. Drew will be receiving an Excellence in Education Scholarship. Drew plans to attend the University of Michigan to major in data science. Congratulations, Drew. Take a break at this time to.
Sure. We'll take a brief recess for some refreshments and to meet with our students and stuff. So let's take a 15-minute or long? 10 minutes? Okay. All right, we'll call the meeting back to order, and we'll continue on with the superintendent's report, or Mr. Young's presentation for the high school.
Thank you. So each year, I like to take an opportunity to update the board as well as our community on just some of the things that are going on at Marquette Senior High School. And first of all, thank you to our ombudsman for being a representative of the high school on a regular basis. It's much appreciated work, and it's great to have that connection between our Board of Education and our student council. It's nice to have that. So while there are many things that we could choose to talk about, one of the things that really came to my mind as I thought about what might be nice to share is the work that we're doing as a high school around social emotional learning. It's a very important topic for us right now. It's also something that aligns very well to the work that the district is working on in terms of MTSS. And so tonight, just wanted to share a few things with you in regards to that. So the problem that exists is that 50% of adolescents have experienced symptoms of mental illness. 80% of youth who need mental health care lack access to effective treatment. And so that problem exists. And so what we wanted to do is think of, as a school, how might we proactively approach this topic? And so the way in which we're doing that is by implementing social emotional learning and other support structures. 87% of parents believe that SEL is important in helping children navigate today's world. 95% of educators believe that SEL provides benefit not only in reducing behavioral concerns, but also improving grades and creating a less emotional distress for students. Students that operate in strong SEL environments have better academic performance, better attendance, as well as significantly lower rates of emotional distress, violence, delinquence, and substance abuse. And so as a result, this is an incredibly important topic. And so what we here at Marquette Senior High School have done is tried to approach this from 3 different ways. Number 1, creating a community approach. Number 2, educating our students. And number 3, providing opportunities. And so tonight I want to share just a little bit about those 3 things. The first one, in creating a strong school community, we've tried to do that, or worked hard to do that, through our advisory program. And I've got a teacher here that's going to talk about that in just a moment, as well as the next part, which would be embedding education around SEL into our curriculum for our students. And that comes in the form of trails, which we'll share a little bit about as well. And then the third piece is expanding opportunities for our students to participate in extracurricular activities. And you might say, well, why extracurricular activities? And the reason is very simple. The research shows that every time a student is connected to an activity involving the school, they are more likely to have a better social outlook on life. They're also more likely to do well academically and socially in school. And so it's a very important part of what we do. You notice on the sheet that I provided at the very bottom, there's the MTSS triangle that we're all very familiar with at this point in time. tonight will not be a comprehensive description of SEL at Marquette Senior High School. To do that would take far more than just a few minutes at a board meeting. But instead, tonight is about highlighting some of the things we're doing at that tier 1 level of implementing SEL at the high school. So I've got 2 teachers that are here with me, and to be quite honest, these are 2 teachers that need no introduction. And that's for very good reason. It's because they are absolutely fabulous teachers who go far beyond just their classroom. They really give back to their students through the community and everything else. And so I'd like to have Miss Carla McCutcheon and Miss Becky LeBrecq come up and join me here, if they will. Thank you for being here and being a part of this. I appreciate that. And so in creating a community, we're working to do that through our advisory program. Miss McCutcheon is our advisory program's advisor. Get a double advisory there, I guess. Advisor, and she does an outstanding job of planning those activities. This year, she's working to plan those activities in coordination with our guidance office, utilizing trails, which we'll talk a little bit more about. But I'd like to give Ms. McCutcheon an opportunity just to give you a little bit more information on our advisory program.
All right, hello. I think some of you are quite maybe new even to knowing about our advisory program. I know Linda Hopper and Zach Sedgwick are well aware of it just because Zach had an advisory, and I'm sure Linda picked up on all the things that were going on in the school when we instituted our program. And just a little history now that I'm 23 years in, you start reflecting on a lot of stuff and you go, oh, when did this stuff even happen? And looking back, Marquette Senior High School got a grant, $1 million grant through Michigan State University, Small Learning Communities, back in 2009. And then as they rolled different things out, in 2011 they approached me. I taught health here for 10 years. And they reached out to me and said, do you want to start planning your advisory curriculum? And Bob Anthony sat me down and I said, I'd love to. And what it looks like is 2 days a week, Tuesdays and Thursdays, I push out activities centered on, exactly this, social emotional health. And just, the safe and civil schools concept of creating a place where kids want to go to school and where teachers want to teach. And it's a pretty, looking back, it's just such a cool thing to develop. And I spend my summers laboring over what the themes are going to be, and to partner with what our guidance counselors have brought to us in the Trails curriculum. We settled on forging superior trails, and I'm working with the guidance department here. They give me some outstanding lessons to be going out to over 40 different classrooms, so the entire school gets the same message. And that's just one part of it, but we're maybe able to utilize that throughout the whole school, so we have common languages on terms, and understanding that your 4th hour teacher is your person, that these kids don't feel lost, that they feel like no matter what in their life, their 4th hour teacher is somebody they can go to when they need help, and they know them at a level of their academics, their attendance. No matter what struggle they might be, they at least have that one person. No, our overall goal is that they feel like that towards multiple adults in the building, but at least we know that there's nobody falling through the cracks, and that's the power behind it. And the part of that whole grant process that we went through, that the one thing that still exists in our school is our advisory program, and I appreciate that we still have that for our students. And it's not all just in the classroom stuff. We do take part in the Canathon. We have this really exciting Ultimate Frisbee tournament coming up, and I'm starting to roll that out to the students. And that started back in 2013, and Mr. Sedgwick's advisory actually won one year. And some of the students were complaining because he planted himself down in the end zone, and they would just throw long, high bombs to him, and he just kept snagging it. But it's an exciting month of May here at Marquette Senior High School. I don't know of any other school that runs an Ultimate Frisbee tournament with the finals being on the game field like a regular game night. But anyways, like I said, it's just we have all different types of activities from, again, in the classroom, teaching on these topics, and then we can branch out to our community and just have a 4th hour where we can have some fun, sit back and enjoy each other's time, but at the same time know that we have people there for our students. So thank you.
So the next part of the process that we have is within the TRAILS. And so TRAILS is an acronym. It actually stands for Transforming Research and Action to Improve the Lives of Students. And so this is a program that's put together that really focuses around social emotional learning, student mental health and well-being, things along those lines. And so our counselors have been trained in this process. You see there, I'm including Ms. Gregorich has been trained in tiers 1, 2, and 3, and then Mr. Roshan's been trained in tier 1. That training is ongoing, and they'll continue to get that development so that they can better serve and are better equipped to serve our students. Tier 1 of TRAILS is the classroom implementation, which is what we were talking about here tonight. That's bringing those lessons to the students and giving them skills. And if you see down below, I've got the 5 different areas that students develop skills in. It's in self-management, self-awareness, responsible decision-making, social awareness, and relationship skills. Those are pretty valuable things for people to be learning. And so it's good that we're able to allocate that time to be able to address those concerns within our classrooms. In addition to that, you'll notice down in the bottom, I've got another example of a tier 2, just to give you a little bit of an example. You see the picture there that's got the Scan Me. That is actually taken right out of our hallways. Our guidance counselors put those in the hallways as a means of students to be able to very quickly and very easily gain access to their counselor whenever they need to. And so they're able to schedule appointments electronically. And currently right now, Mr. Roshan, in partnership with Mary Beth Mellon, who is actually with the Marquette County Health Department, they're working with some small group SEL activities. And that, rather than being our full student body, would be a targeted intervention that's for select students to participate in, going again with that MTSS model that we've talked about before. So the last bit that I wanted to share with you tonight is about expanding opportunities for our students. And one of the things that I'm very proud of as a building principal is that we are always looking for opportunity for our students. I want every one of our students, our families, that when they think of Marquette Senior High School, to think of opportunity. We try to offer things both academically, athletically, and here with groups and other extracurricular activities. And one of those groups is a new group this year that is branching off into an area that is so vitally important to us, and that is the fact that this particular group, 45% of the students across the state of Michigan that participate in this activity had never participated in any school activities prior to this. And so that is a connection with a population of students that we've never connected with before. And that's hugely important. And so that new group is our esports group. And so here to talk a little bit about esports is Mrs. LeBrecq.
So we've had, for the last couple of years, we've had students interested in esports. I run the makerspace here, for those of you that don't know, and so we have VR headsets, and I love to play games, and so I'm probably one of the only teachers that some of the students see during the school day playing games. We're trying to sneak that in when we can, but so students had come to me in the past. It's just that having an esports team in high school has a lot of challenges to it. There are technological challenges. There are, you if not done correctly, you can open yourself up to some vulnerabilities that we're just not interested in doing as a school district. And so those were challenges that we weren't ready to face. And then just technology issues and people and, all the things that it takes, because it really is a team that involves a lot. It's not just a club that meets once a week. It's not going to work that way. So with competitions, we play schools all over the state. And so it really, it runs just like a sports team would run in some ways. So that took us some time to get together. What really pushed it forward this year is a partnership with the Secondary Association of Principals. And so that really helped us move forward in a way with other schools and get on a platform that we knew was safe, that we could trust to use. And so we did that this year. And when Mr. Young came to me, we had 0 computers that were capable of doing this in my lab at all, and so we had some obstacles to push through. And so we put together things, and Jacob Phillips is my assistant coach there, and he has helped us kind of make the lab work. And honestly, some of these guys would run home after school and bring in their consoles just to make things happen. And so their commitment is kind of what drove us past it. So we were really proud to be able to get the esports team and have 20 students participating this school year. And so that's been awesome. And so we've had 3 teams going. The gentlemen that are here tonight, I've got Caleb Mager as a senior, and then Elon Chu, and Zach Cheney, both freshmen. Those guys were a part with two other guys on an Overwatch team. So it was really fun to watch these guys play together. Honestly, in my 14 or so years here at MAPS, I saw the most growth I've ever seen in a group with this group. Watching them gel and come together and build friendships and communication skills and problem solving and focus. And I mean, I could go on and on up here about all the things that they learned through this process. And it was growth that I could see from week to week very clearly, which is not always the case in the classroom, unfortunately. It's just harder to measure sometimes. And this was outstandingly easy to measure. And so that to me made it worthwhile. And then we have two other teams. We have a Smash Brothers team and we have a Rocket League team. They just played tonight, actually, right before the meeting here. I sent them home to get some food. But our Smash Brothers team, they ended their turning run tonight, but our Rocket League team is still in there. We were seated 27th in the state, and we just beat the number 5 team. So we're excited to move on, and so we're planning to play again on Wednesday. But this has been really, really a lot of fun for these guys, and it's been a lot of hard work, a lot of showing up, and really what we need to continue it is just some commitment, some community members to help us, a few more adults in the room, and I think we'll see this grow to be an absolutely huge program here. We have at least 20 kids that drop in just to see what we're doing, and probably that many more that have asked if we're doing it again. I would say all of these guys are ready to go again, except for Caleb. He's going to move on. And we even had our first college reach out to us. They're coming to talk scholarships with some of these students, and they knew some of them by name. And so I thought that was really, really exciting for them. So it's an awesome program that we're really blessed to be bringing to Marquette Senior High School. We only know of one other team in the UP that's doing it quite like this, and it's Big Bay Denok. We were so excited the last week we got their name on, it's a random draw, so you don't know who you're going to play, and their name popped up, so we were super excited. But it was our first obstacle with technology because we're both UP schools, and so there was an issue with, because we've tried to lock down our UP districts with our own Marisa, our Marisas can't play against each other. We can't connect in that way. So we both had to take a loss on that match, but it was so heartbreaking. But next year we're coming at you. We're going to all be ready to go, and we're hoping we can get a few more UP schools on board as well. So we'd love to see that grow here, and we'd love to start getting together with neighboring schools and playing in person, because that camaraderie and the friendships that I'm seeing build are really just awesome. And I have quite a few students who, as John was saying, they've never participated in any extracurricular activity in this building, nor had they have any plans to do so. Other members on my team play other sports, and so they were juggling multiple sports. So we have kind of all of that going on. So it's been a real pleasure to work with this team, and I look forward to the future with them. So thanks, guys.
Thank you.
So the Michigan Association of Secondary School Principals is kind of the MSHAA of esports, if you will. And so they actually polled all of the students that participate in esports across the state, and I've included some of that in the sheet that I provided you, but I just wanted to highlight two of them. 78% of the students reported improvement in their leadership skills as part of that process. And here, directly speaking to what we're talking about here tonight, 73% of the students who participated reported improvement in their mental health as a result of being part of that process. So it's great to have these opportunities for our students. And again, our goal is to establish that feeling of community through our advisory program. It's to educate our students using the Trails program, and then to provide opportunities for our students through things like esports. So just want to share a few things along those lines with you tonight, and thank you for your time.
Thank you, Mr. Young, Mrs. McCutcheon, and Ms. LeBrecq. Well done. Really appreciate the report. Next up, I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Lampman, who is going to present a budget amendment.
So Mr. Sedgwick provided me with a remote, so I'm mobile. I'm going to take advantage of it. Okay, can everybody hear me? Can you speak up a little? What's that? So I'm here to present the second budget amendment of the year. It's kind of been an unusual year for us. We've been receiving a lot of grants during the course of the year, which has continually required us to revisit our staffing plan. We did a truncated budget amendment in January where we just looked at the general fund. This time around, we're looking at all the funds as a whole. So we're going to start with the general fund. The general fund is comprised of several smaller funds that roll up into one fund in the financial statements. This includes our general operations, grants, Kaufman Auditorium, the Planetarium, Father Marquette, retirement terminal leave, contingencies, athletics, and student activities. So we're going to look at the revenues in the general fund first. There are certain things I want to highlight. One is interest income. We're going to see an increase in what we've budgeted for interest income, pretty significant. Right now, our investments are currently yielding 4.88%. As you may or may not be aware, between March 2022 and March 2023, there's been about 9 increases that the Fed has made to interest rates. So where we were initially projecting last year when we set this budget, lower interest income, we're now pushing 5%. So that makes a pretty significant difference. One of the issues that we're going to talk about is also state aid. Every year we see a mid-year adjustment in our state aid due to our special ed cost reporting. And then we've also received some other state grants during the course of the year. And then federal grants as well. One of the grants that we did receive was an ESSER grant called 11T. And what that is, it's more COVID dollars to deal with learning loss, summer school, before and after school programs. So we got this during the course of the year, which, as I stated, required us to go back and revisit our staffing plan. So our current budget, we have revenues totaling $41,642,000. We're proposing with this amendment total revenues of $44,588,000, which is an increase of $2,945,000. Again, an increase in revenues of local revenue of $455,000, largely due to increased interest on our investments. State revenues, an increase of $915,000 due to special ed increases and state grants that have come through. And federal revenues, an increase of about $1.5 million, largely due to, as I said, the COVID 11T money. So kind of stepping back and looking at the big picture, when you look at our overall revenues, broken down by local, state, federal, you can see on the graph the largest share by far is our state revenues, followed by local revenues, which is our property tax dollars, private source contributions, things of that nature. And then our federal revenues make up a smaller percentage of our overall revenue. Looking at the general fund expenses, some of the changes that we're proposing with this amendment are personnel changes. Significantly, the Board of Education approved a stipend paid out to employees in December of 2022. They've also approved another stipend that will be paid out coming up in June 2023. And as well as some other mid-year benefit changes that occur to retirement percentages, health insurance rate changes, things of that nature. As I mentioned, grant allocations, we've had to revise our staffing plan during the course, several times actually during the course of the year, in order to utilize the grant opportunities available to us. There are going to be some capital outlay changes with this amendment. Previously, the Board of Education had approved the purchase of a plow truck for about $62,000. We had significant damage to the cafeteria over at Graverette. That cost about $50,000 to repair. Now, that's going to be largely reimbursed by insurance proceeds as well, but that is a change to our capital outlay expenditures. And then we're also looking at an increase in transportation to the tune of about $330,000. I, a couple of months ago, updated the board on where we stood as far as the district's bus fleet. You may or may not recall, about 30% of the district's school buses have over 200,000 miles on them. Another 30% are over 150,000 miles. So in total, 60% of our fleet's over 150,000 miles. We have been running into some issues with our buses meeting their required maintenance. So we're looking at various options in order to bring in some school buses this year. We have 3 currently on order. The lead time, though, is about a year in order to get a new school bus in. So we're looking at some options as maybe we can purchase used buses, but we definitely see a need to invest in transportation at this time. We're also proposing a transfer from the general fund to the capital projects fund of about $1.5 million. Speaking of needs, there's a lot of needs for the district when it comes to maintaining the buildings. Majority of our buildings are old. Our newest buildings are 30 years old. Our oldest buildings going back to the mid-1950s. We do have a sinking fund that we can use for maintaining our current infrastructure, but that brings in about $1.1 million a year, and that doesn't always meet the immediate needs of the district. So so part of our goal is to set aside some additional funds in our capital projects fund, kind of as a backstop to the sinking fund, whereby if there is an emergency, say one of the boilers at the high school goes, which would be an expensive proposition, I'm guessing probably $1 million. We have our engineer here. I don't know if he can attest whether that's a good number or a bad number, but for argument's sake, I'm going to use that number. So we can use the capital projects fund as kind of a backstop for emergency infrastructure needs. And by the way, feel free to stop me at any time if you have questions. So looking at the general fund expenses in total, currently our budget is $41,194,000. We're proposing an increase to $43,820,000. That's an overall increase of about $2.6 million. Again, an increase to salaries of $600,000. That's largely the stipends that have been approved by the board. Capital outlay, I just ran through. Investment in transportation, the plow truck, and other expenditures that have come up, such as Graveret, and then the transfer to capital projects. And again, kind of the 30,000-foot view here, looking at the general fund expenditures graphically, you can see that the largest share of the general fund budget by far is salaries and benefits. Over 85% of our budget is comprised just of salaries and benefits. So, a very significant cost to the operation. So we started the year with a fund balance in the general fund of $14,092,000. We're looking at revenues of $44,588,000, expenditures of $43,820,000, resulting in a net income of $768,000, resulting in a fund balance of $14,860,000. However, per board policy, we need to retain a 10% fund balance contingency of $4.382 million. The board has set aside $1.3 million for MTSS implementation that we'll use in the future to continue funding items such as the instructional coaches, who currently are being funded through our ESSER COVID funds. That results in about $9.2 million in unassigned fund balance that will be available for use. Moving on to the food service fund. The food service fund, as you may recall me saying in a previous budget meeting, the last couple of years we did have free lunch for all students. That made it a bit tricky determining what the budget should be this year, which is the first year going back post-COVID without providing free lunch. So we had to go back a few years and kind of project out where we thought we would be. So this amendment is kind of tweaking those projections. I don't think we were too far off on local revenues. We projected $448,000. We're bringing that down a little bit to $420,000. The state revenues relatively flat. Federal revenues, we're proposing an increase of $244,000. That's partially a couple of federal grants we received that we were not anticipating, and then also just kind of tweaking our projection. So overall, we're looking at an increase of $219,000 to our school lunch revenue. School lunch expenses. Currently, we're at $1.149 million in the budget. We're proposing $195,000 increase to $1.3 million. The biggest reason for that change is, again, we're kind of projecting out in a post-free meal world for the school lunch fund what our supplies costs would be. We came in a little bit short on our projection. We were at $543,000. We think we're actually going to end the year around $660,000 in supplies costs. That's an increase of $117,000. And also capital outlay we're proposing an increase of about $70,000. There's a lot of needs right now in the kitchen as far as updating equipment, steam kettles, combi ovens, things of that nature that are just past their useful life. So looking at the school lunch fund overall, we started the year with a fund balance of $795,000. We're looking at adding revenues of $1,270,000, expenditures of $1,344,000, resulting in a net loss. I'm sorry, that says net income. There should be parentheses loss of $74,225 and an ending fund balance of $720,832 school lunch fund. Next, we'll look at the debt retirement fund, the capital projects fund, and the sinking fund. The debt fund, not a whole lot of activity going on here. We're proposing an increase in the revenue budget of $53,366. This is just kind of a tweak to the budget to reflect property taxes. The taxable value increased a little bit. We looked at that in January with the general fund amendment. We did not look at the debt service fund. And then also, again, the increase in investment income makes up that combination. So we started the year with a fund balance of $169,000 in the debt service fund. We're projecting revenues of $662,000, expenses of $640,000, resulting in net income of $22,407 and an ending fund balance of $192,015. Capital projects fund. We originally had projected revenues of $150,620. That was moving $150,000 into the fund for the one-to-one initiative, and then $620 in additional interest income. However, with this new proposed budget, we're looking at revenues of $1,687,000. That change is moving in $1.5 million from the general fund into the capital projects fund, and also bringing that interest income projection up to about $37,000. So we started the year with a fund balance of $1,148,000, revenues of $1,687,000, resulting in net income of $1,687,000, and an ending fund balance of $2,836,000. Sinking fund. So the sinking fund, we currently, in our current budget, have $1.1 million in revenue. We're looking to increase that to $1,171,000. That $66,000 increase is again, made up of a slight uptick in taxable value, so additional tax revenue, and then the increase in the investment. Expenditures, we had planned on about $995,000 in expenditures this year in the sinking fund. With the known projects right now, we're at about $1.5 million, so that's an increase of $541,000. So some of those projects that we currently know are the parking lot at Graverette that was completed last fall. There's currently an elevator project in the works over at Graverette. There's an entryway project at Graverette to address a safety issue with some of the stonework around one of the entrances, well, a couple of the entrances. And we also have the HVAC system at Bothwell that we've been working on. All of this, as we come into year end, probably won't be spent by June 30, so we're going to wind up moving some of this money into next year's budget, depending on how much we spend by the end of the year. So with the sinking fund, we had a beginning fund balance of $636,000. We are projecting revenues of $1,171,000, expenses of $1,536,000, resulting in a net loss. I apologize again. Copy paste is a dangerous thing sometimes. Net loss of $364,761 and an ending fund balance of $271,471. And if anybody would like to call and chat, here's my contact information. Does anybody have any questions this evening? No, hearing none. I will relinquish the mic. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lampman. Just one item under other. I invited Isaac Roberts from GEI, one of our engineers that we're working with, to come tonight, and I appreciate him coming. And Isaac, I asked Isaac to come in the event that the board has any questions on one of the items under new business, that being the HVAC replacement project at Bothwell Middle School, which Mr. Lampman just alluded to. That project came in quite a bit more than what we had originally budgeted, but that was also roughly 2 years ago because it was in the works before I took over as superintendent. It has been a challenge, to say the least, to get that project completed. We've gone through 2 bidding cycles and we've only received 1 bid, that from a local contractor, and you'll find it in your packet, the details for that bid. But in case you have any questions for Mr. Roberts, the total cost is roughly $600,000 to replace that HVAC system, and that would be a combination of heating and cooling, 3 different units on the roof of Bothwell, which requires quite a bit of technical work to get those old units removed and the new units installed. And beyond that, the technicalities of HVAC systems is not my expertise, so I thought perhaps if you did have questions, Mr. Roberts could help you answer them. So, anybody like to ask Isaac any questions on the HVAC?
My curiosity is just an opinion that you might have onto why we only had 1 bid. I mean, it's obviously significantly more than 2 years ago. So, I mean, it's a job that's, I'm assuming, lucrative. I know costs are much higher construction-wise, but what would be the reason for only getting 1 bid?
So we reached out to 4 different contractors in the area, and 3 of them do not have staffing capabilities to work.
That's what I thought. Okay, thank you.
The architect who oversaw the project was actually Rhodes Engineering out of Traverse City, and am I correct that they also reached out and?
Yes, we put the bids out to local PXs, Builders Exchange, Marquette, Iron Mountain, and Traverse City.
I'm sorry, just for clarity's sake, and you're saying that even when you expanded that search, we just don't have, they just did not have the staffing ability for that?
Correct.
Yeah, this is everywhere, right? Okay,
Yeah.
thank you so much.
Will this be an all-summer project?
No. It will, the lead time on the units are roughly 12 weeks. So they would be delivered in July, and there's about 12 weeks.
Well, thank you very much for coming tonight, Mr. Roberts. Appreciate your time. And that is all I have for you this evening. Thank you.
Alright. Okay. So that's it for superintendent's report. Comments from the public, agenda items only. I have 2 slips, but they're for the end. So we'll move on to approving the consent agenda. That would include the minutes of the regular meeting of March 20, 2023, minutes of the special meeting March 22 of 23, minutes of the closed session March 22, personnel report dated April 2023, financial reports of March 2023.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
All right, motion made by Mr. Hewitt, support by Mr. Sarka. Any comments? All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? All right, motion passes. Board committee reports.
For Appropriations Committee, we met last week, just on Thursday, April 13th, myself and Mr. Zadunik. And the agenda was pretty short. The 2 items were both the Bothwell HVAC project and the budget amendment by Mr. Lampman. So although there weren't a lot of topics discussed, there was a lot of information provided from both of those. I didn't ask any questions to the engineer from GEI just because I had more information, I guess, from that meeting. But I guess the only other thing to add to that discussion is that, yeah, just the intricacies of having to deal with the rooftop units and the coils inside the building to help move the water through the system, be cooled and heated, just ended up being a lot more, I think, behind it than what we had originally anticipated. So, but you know, these items are large and expensive, and it's just kind of the cost of running a school district of our size. So, we did come away with a recommendation to from the committee level to approve that bid, to award the bid. And I guess I don't really have anything else to add to Mr. Lampman's presentation either. I don't know if Mr. Zdunek had any additional comments.
Just kind of a supply and demand, I think, with part of the cost. As far as that bid is concerned, you know, we only have one bid, it needs to get done, so.
That's all I had.
All right, thank you. Moving on to student school board representatives reports.
So this week we're wrapping up our twerp plans. We're decorating on Friday and our dance is on Saturday. And next month we will be voting on next year's members of student council. And we're excited to see what new people do it and who takes on the new leadership roles. And Lily.
And then there were 6 student representatives, including myself, that got the opportunity to formally introduce ourselves to the Michigan Attorney General, Dana Nessel, and this was a leadership experience that we'll all remember forever, and it was also pretty cool. So that's it.
Great, thank you. Moving on to old business. That we have Neola policies, final reading. Mrs. Clip, do you have anything before we?
No, we, I think, did a pretty good job last month of just highlighting, or maybe it was 2 months ago now, highlighting the ones that were a little unusual. It still stands that we're waiting. I don't have the policy number in front of me, but we're still waiting on some clarification for some language on school visitors. And we will address that at the next scheduled policy meeting, which I think should be in the next 6 weeks. That's that.
Do we? Okay, all right. So I would entertain a motion to approve the policies if there's no further questions.
I'll make a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve every policy that's underneath 12A on the agenda.
Support.
All right. The motion made by Mr. Hewitt, support by Ms. Ray. If there's no further questions or comments regarding the policies, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, moving on to new business. Consider adoption of the amendment to the 2022-2023 budget.
I'll make the motion to adopt the budget amendment as presented by Mr. Lyman.
I'll support.
All right, motion made by Mr. Hewitt, support by Ms. Ray. Any comments? All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Let's see, approve the resolution to consider designation of an electoral representative for the June 5th, 2023 biennial election. So this is something we do every now and again.
Yep.
It's a leap year thing. So we need to designate someone that would vote on behalf of the board at the Marisa meeting, I believe, or at a meeting at Marisa.
There's one seat that is up on the recent board.
I see.
And so we get one vote as to who we want. We don't know who is running yet. We won't find that out until after this meeting. This meeting is just for us to do a resolution to designate who's going to put our vote in products.
Okay, so we need someone to go to the meeting. I am on one of their boards that's putting on the meeting, so I'm going to be at that one. But if we were interested in someone else going, or if maybe a backup, we could do that.
Is that a Monday? I bet you it's a Monday.
I believe it is a Monday.
Do we know what time?
It said on there, didn't it?
No, I can't find it. I was looking for
I think in the past years it's been around like 5, 6 o'clock. It's a dinner thing, so you get dinner. If that makes it any
I
more.
don't think that's the selling point.
If
you
that
think
makes it any more enticing.
I'll be out of town.
It's usually Mama Russo's, so it's usually really good.
I am available.
Yeah, I'm available as well. It's my first day off of school, so that would be great. I'm serious. I'm absolutely willing to do that. You wanna?
We're gonna.
Yeah. Well, I mean, do you wanna go, and then if you have a problem, I can be your backup? Is that what you're kind of asking for?
What we're asking for, yes, is someone to be designated as a representative of the district. Kristen's going to be there anyway, so that.
Can you
She be
do
designated
those?
as a
You guys can
representative,
come and we can have dinner together.
and then
Oh my gosh, that'd be
someone
fun.
else serve as an alternate.
Yeah, I'm gonna be the alternate.
Okay.
We have to do this formally, though.
Yes.
Dresses.
So there's been some discussion, so we would probably entertain a motion for Mr. Sarka to be the designate to be able to vote, and then Mrs. Clip could be the alternate. So if anyone would like to make that motion, can we do it all in one thing, or we gotta do them
We
separately?
do need a motion.
Yeah.
We can make a motion and we can do both in one. Yes.
Okay, that's what I need to know. Okay.
I'll make a motion. Seems very complicated all of a sudden. I will make a motion that on June 5th, Mr. Sarka will be the designate for the, let me get the language right here, the biannual designation of electoral representative, the biannual election at Marisa, and I will be willing to be the alternate. That is the motion.
I support that.
All right, so we have a motion by Mrs. Clip, a support by Mrs. Maddox-Smith. Any comments or questions? No, I think we probably covered it. All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion passes. All right. Consider acceptance of bid from Prime Specialty Contracting LLC for the 2022 MAPS BMS HVAC equipment replacement project. Do we have any further discussion about that? No? Good. I would entertain a motion.
I'll make the motion to accept the bid from Prime Specialty Contracting for the HVAC repair replacement project.
I'll second.
All right. Motion made by Mr. Hewitt, supported by Mrs. Clip. Any further discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion passes. Comments from the public general. I have two slips here. Jen Leckener.
Hello, my name is Jen Bleckner, address 545 Fisher Street in Marquette. And I'm going to read something that I planned out. So, as a Marquette area public school employee for 11 and a half years, I valued being part of the ECSE and FSP teams and collaborating with school staff and administrators. As a speech language pathologist, I was able to help children communicate in many different ways and support families in the educational setting. As I moved through my career at MAPS, I found that I really wanted to provide more support for families. Administrators and staff helped me with my vision to become a reality when we started doing ECSE family nights prior to COVID to bring families together and provide resources. Throughout my time here, I worked with the most dedicated and caring staff. I forged lifelong friendships and respectful relationships with so many. This school year, I took a leave of absence to be home with my daughter as she navigated health issues and explored more possibilities with my private practice, Find Your Voice. It has been a passion and my purpose to provide support and resources for families and educators in our community. And I'm thankful for the opportunity to advocate for staff, students, and families. Mrs. Johnson, the MAP Special Ed Coordinator, and I had a chance to meet this past week regarding products and services I'm able to offer and concerns regarding paraprofessionals, their retention and recruitment. And I was really excited to hear that there's a lot of really good things happening at MAPS, which I know since I've been an employee for so long, but also that they're working on some things to help with training that's being offered in the district for paraprofessionals with pay and childcare available at different times and locations. They can also complete online professional development where they're able to receive up to $500 for their time. The Handle with Care training is required for paraprofessionals and offered by Marisa in conjunction with MAPS. Having this training available many times throughout the school year might be beneficial for the employees as well. When staff are not trained quickly, injuries and stress escalate. With the assistance of Marisa and the MTSS initiative, additional training will be available in the future. Our students deserve staff who are trained to work with the children with higher needs. According to Mrs. Johnson, too, many staff members are new at MAPS, and the Human Resources Department is working on additional onboarding procedures for paraprofessionals. By continuing to have consistent procedures with who to go to for questions and concerns, including special education staff and fellow paraprofessionals, this may increase retention. Based on the district paraprofessional handbook, staff are required to complete subplans, which will be available to staff who are placed in different classrooms than their original placement. Time is allowed for staff to meet regarding individual student needs, either within the school days, such as planning time, or with pay outside of the school day on an as-needed basis. Paraprofessionals are also able to attend individualized education plan meetings for one-on-one students with pay outside of the school day if requested by staff. When I worked with paraprofessionals in a variety of settings at MAPS, I always valued them and their input as an equal member of the IEP team. In my opinion, this is vital to the retention of our paraprofessional staff. Although an increase in wages falls into negotiations between the district board and union, I do want to make a note that this needs to be addressed. Paraprofessionals and other educational staff work with children because they care about children, not because they want to get rich. However, they deserve a livable wage and continued support. Paraprofessionals in the ECSE, FSP, and Resource Room 3 classrooms may have additional responsibilities, including toileting, including lifting onto changing tables, changing diapers, wiping, cleaning up when the children have bathroom accidents, using a variety of strategies for each individual child, including behavior plans, additional medical and feeding needs, such as feeding tubes, medication, transferring from wheelchairs and chairs, communication strategies, devices, visual supports, and other tools, being on high alert for elopement, physical aggression, and watching for signs of stress for each child prior to escalation of self-harm and harm to others. Thinking of creative ways to assist the child in choosing to complete a non-preferred activity or situation, such as leaving the playground or completing a task. These positions can be viewed as undesirable by other paraprofessionals due to the additional responsibilities, and we should consider additional compensation for some way for working in these higher need classrooms. I'm thankful for the opportunity to work with so many dedicated and caring individuals and teams. I'm grateful that Mrs. Johnson helped me figure out some more additional resources that are available to the staff, and that will be continued to be updated from the input from our community. We all need to feel appreciated and valued in our work. Thank you for your commitment.
Thank you. Shilpa Jobalia?
Shorter. Good evening. My name is Shilpa Jobalia, and I live at 1085 Woodridge Avenue in Marquette Township. I'm here today as a parent of children enrolled in the Marquette area public schools, including a daughter with special needs who has an IEP, is nonverbal, and works with a parapro. I spoke last month at the MAP school board meeting with other parents and community members about our advocacy efforts for paraprofessional staff and would like to speak more about this movement tonight. Last month, teachers in the nation's second largest school district, the Los Angeles School District, joined bus drivers, cafeteria workers, and paraprofessionals in a sympathy strike demanding a historic raise for support staff. Rachel Wagner, a parent of a child in the LA School District, who is also the leader of a group of over 30,000 members called Parents Supporting Teachers, said, quote, "It really is wrong that they are not being paid fairly. Historically, they've been grossly underpaid, and I think you reach a point where you say, enough is enough," end quote. LA School District's 3-day strike ended with the minimum wage being elevated to $22.52 per hour and a $3 million educational and professional development fund for union members. Last year, education workers began strikes in small districts in states including Illinois, California, Massachusetts, and Washington, and major cities including Seattle, Columbus, Sacramento, and Minneapolis. The movement of education workers challenging districts to improve their treatment and compensation of them persists today. But this issue of low wages for paraprofessional staff is not only happening outside of Michigan, it is happening here in Michigan too. In November of 2022, the Flint Community School Board of Education approved increased pay for the paraprofessional union in the district. Under the union's old hourly wage scale, parapros wages ranged from $10.53 to $15.39 an hour. Under the new scale for the 2022-2023 academic year, Flint parapros wages range between $15 to $20 per hour, depending on years of service. I know we can work together to not only increase wages, but provide paraprofessionals proper health care benefits and pay during spring break and winter break. As summers are also unpaid, unemployment compensation during summer vacation would be another retention strategy I urge the district to adopt. Myself and other parents and community members are working together to put together a proposal for the MAPS administration to review on retention and recruitment strategies of parapro staff. We have several districts to learn from that are already making these historic changes. Gwynn Area Public Schools pays their parapros starting at $13.33, while MAPS starting wages is $11.50. In addition to our proposal, myself and others are willing to help MAPS with grant writing and advocacy to find a creative solution to this problem. We are also asking for MAPS to more consistently offer the Handle with Care training so that parapros and sub-aides are not starting an important job with no training. We understand that not all parapro job vacancies are filled at the start of the school year, but we want to ensure that parapros that begin their job in the middle of a semester have access to these important trainings. At last month's MAPS school board meeting, a former parapro stated that she did not receive the Handle with Care training until 7 months into her job. This is unacceptable. There are currently parapros and sub-aides working in our schools today who have not received this essential training, and this is unacceptable. I think we can all agree that no matter what job you do, proper training and orientation is key in the success of that role. Knowing that the parapro job is difficult to recruit and retain, I hope the district can plan in advance so that the Handle with Care training is offered regularly so that parapros do not continue to fall through the cracks. I want to close by saying that right now I'm missing dinner with my family just so I can have 5 minutes of your attention on this important issue in our schools. I know that staff have raised their concerns up the chain of command to no avail. It is for that reason that I think it's time that we address these long-standing issues with dialogue, reflection, and hopefully some meaningful action in the immediate future. These problems are not going to go away. They will only get worse if MAPS does not address them as a priority. This movement that is happening across the nation, and believe it or not, it is also happening here in Marquette County. Thank you for your time, and I look forward to collaborating on a solution for our beloved paraprofessional staff. Thank you.
Thank you. Moving on to board member comments. We'll start with Mr. Zdunek.
I wanted to thank Mr. Young for his time before tonight's meeting, showing me around the building, some of the changes here at Marquette Senior High School since I graduated in 1999 here. Great information tonight from all the presenters. From my perspective, I think it's great to see an expansion and available extracurricular activities. That's all I have. Thank you.
Mrs. Maddox-Smith.
I want to congratulate all of our outstanding students from the class of 2023. Just amazing, all your accomplishments and the things that you're getting done. Loved hearing every bit of it. Congratulations to our student reps. You guys just put in so much work, and I'm so awesome. It's just so awesome you got to meet with the Attorney General. That must have been just great. What a great opportunity. I enjoyed hearing a lot about the trails thing that's going on with the social and emotional learning. Just couldn't be more timely and just right on. And Mr. Lampman, thank you for disseminating all of that budget information. That was a lot, so thank you. And all the hard work that our board does and the committees. Just want to give some appreciation to all my fellow board members, and definitely to Mr. Sarka and Ms. Clip for volunteering for the Marisa delegation. Thank you everybody for attending, and thank you for talking, and we look forward to hearing more.
All right, Ms. Ray, you want to follow that?
Just say ditto. Yes, thank you all, and congratulations to everyone. There's a lot going on in these walls here and across our community. So I appreciate all the hard work everybody's doing, and the emphasis on the social and emotional well-being of every child. It's well overdue, and the statistics speak for themselves. So I'm encouraged that we're on the right path. Thank you.
Mrs. Clip?
Well, all the kiddos left.
I
So
know.
just for the record, super proud of them and excited for them, except you two. And here you are, you're just hanging in there, missing whatever you're missing. So thank you really for all you do. And you all are involved in so much. So to be involved in this, take this on as well as good kids. And oh my gosh, am I excited for what's going on at the high school. As Miss Ray pointed out, the data is crystal clear. The more we can bring kids in, the more kids feel connected. The better the relationships are between the kids, adults in the building. The scores will take care of themselves. When kids want to be somewhere, when they feel valued and safe in a space, they will 100% perform. You don't have to look far for that data, especially in the educational field. It's everywhere. So great job to Mr. Young and his team. Thanks.
Mr. Hewitt?
I think everybody was already mentioned, so in light of that, I'll say thank you to Mr. Sedgwick and Mrs. Hopper for what you do every day.
Mr. Sarka?
Whoever hasn't been thanked, I thank you. Just that we cover everybody. There's a lot that's changed in this building since 1983, so I go a little bit further back, but my locker I had senior year, my combination still works, so we need to get on that, Mr. Young, and change that eventually. I won't tell you what locker number it is, so I'll let you figure that out. So thanks for the public comment. I really appreciate it. And again, I'll say it's hard to get up and talk. It's hard to take time away from your family, but when you believe in something, it's important. And we always appreciate your input, so thank you.
All right, board president comments. I'd just like to echo what my fellow board members said. No, I always enjoy coming to the schools and hearing what's going on in the buildings. And, thank you parents for coming. It's important to, keep at it. No, I'm just, it was a good meeting. Sometimes it's hard being the board, on the board to begin with, and even more so sometimes being the president. But my fellow board members, they definitely make it fun and worthwhile. So thank you for that. Announcements and other meetings, April 24th through the 28th, Excellence in Education Week. May 1st through the 4th, kindergarten screening. May 10th, high school band spring concert at Kaufman at 6:30. May 16th, local scholarship ceremony at the high school gym at 6:30. Bothwell band spring concert at Kaufman. May 17th, Kaufman Awards at Kaufman Auditorium at 7. May 18th, Bothwell Middle School Choral Concert at Kaufman. May 22nd, board meeting at Cherry Creek Library. So just remember, we're at Cherry Creek next time. And I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Could I get a first?
Oh, no.
I'll make the motion.
I get so excited about leaving.
I'll third it. I'm gonna third it.
And then I can
All right,
second.
motion made by Mr. Hewitt.
Okay, and then I'll second it.
Seconded by Mrs. Clip. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Yep, all right. 6-1.
Always trying to do it.